Good morning, crew. Today we are going to talk about Elementor styling, until Elementor Pro styling, and deep dive into what you could do here. It's really exciting to see some of these things, and so I'm really thankful to be able to show these to individuals and grow the Elementor Pro learning and knowledge. So with that, I'm going to jump into our sandbox here. I'm going to move our video over here because that's a better place for it. Elementor styling. So this is raw and uncut. So I'm gonna take a look at one of the pages we have here. So let me just look at the contact page. So I'm gonna edit this with Elementor to pull up our Elementor editor. And in my previous video, I did kind of a lay of the land for Elementor editor, but I'll repeat that a little bit. So on the left-hand column, we have, this is kind of our main edit pane. So right now it's in looking at elements, and we can add certain elements to the page. These are global widgets, so I'll talk about those in another video. And then here's SEO for this page. So elements, this changes as you select things. So if I select a section here, this is an intersection, it changes to layout. And I can change the layout of this intersection. I can change the height to fit screen. I can change it to minimum heights. I can hide the overflow, that kind of stuff. I can change the structure and whatnot. Then style. This is the style of this specific section. So this is where I'll show some of the more of the styling stuff as we get into it. In advanced, this is where you can see like the margins and the padding and some motion effects, hiding it on mobile or reversing column orders on mobile, that kind of stuff. Any custom attributes you might want to add to it and whatnot. On the bottom left here, you'll see little icons here. So settings, this is settings for the page. So you'll have the title of the page, the excerpt, you can change it to published or not, page, all that kind of stuff. You can hide the title of the page. So I can do that if we wanted to. And then page style, again, this is kind of the body style for the page. If we want custom code in here, you can do that. Navigator is on the right here. So that's just a quick and easy way to see, to select elements in the page without having to click and drag in here. History, so this is a history of all the changes that were made to the page, so you can easily revert back if you wanted to. Responsive mode, so this enables the ability to see what your page looks like on a tablet or on a mobile device. And so these are generally good. You can also change, like do a custom width as well, but most of the time you're looking at 360. If you do 500, you can make it a little bit wider, and that kind of stuff. You want to keep an eye on some of the newer form factors of devices. So like the flip open phones that are ultra wide, that kind of stuff. You want to test that out. So yeah. So that is that, and then preview changes is just previewing it. So that is kind of the lay of the land of it. So the middle section obviously is your editing, and so you're editing content, that kind of stuff. So how do we set in like specific, like how do we customize specific elements? So like, let's say this section here, I want to put a background color on this. So I'm just going to select the section by either using this button, or I can actually select using the navigator here as well. And I'm going into style, and there's two different background types. There's background and there's background overlay. So background is going to be the actual background, so I can change the whole background. I can also change like background color on hover. So if I wanted it to change to kind of this gold when I hover over it, you can do that. Kind of god ugly, but you can do that. You can also set up scrolling effects. So like when you are vertical scrolling, you can actually set it so that so when you're scrolling down, you can change the viewpoint. That is kind of an interesting thing. I don't usually do that, but more so on like the scale. I would do either the scale, that kind of stuff. So scaling it up as we scroll. So I don't think it's going to show it because it's like at the top of the page, but maybe we can do it on this one here. So if we do, yeah. So anyway, so then I'm back in here. So here's background. I'm going to remove that. You can apply effects on specific versions, so the mobile version. So if I don't want this to be red on the mobile portrait, I can take that off. Instead of mode, and I look at mobile portrait. Oh, this is just for scroll effects. Sorry. See, raw and unedited. Great. So you can also put images on the background. So that's where the background overlay comes into play. So if I reset this color, and instead I want to do an image. So I'm going to choose one of these images, this guy staring at a computer. So this is the background. Now, if I wanted to do a background overlay, so right now this background, it's very bright, and the text, you can't see it, even if I made this text white. So I went in here and made this white, it's still hard to read. So that's where background overlay comes into play. So this one, if we wanted to have this cool picture in the background, which is nice, you can put either a full color. So what you can do is you can do like let's do like a blue here, like a blue, and then I can change the opacity down here, which is how transparent it is, like that. Maybe even make it even more. Or I can do a gradient. So if I wanted to do like a blue and a white, and I wanted to change the location, maybe the angle of it a little bit, make it pop out to the top right or something. Change the opacity, make it a little bit like that. However you want to design it. I mean, I'm not designing live here, but so that's background overlay. And then the other thing that you want to do, so let's say you have this image, but it's not in the right position. So you want to actually show like more of his laptop in it. So you can actually go in here and change the position. So if you wanted to do like center, you can do that. You can do center left, and it looks like this is repeating. So you see how this is repeating the guy's face or the guy's body. So I can say no repeat. That the display size is cover, and so that'll zoom it in to cover the whole width of the thing. And then I can change this to like top, so it's top center, bottom right. Or I can do custom. So if I do custom, I can actually change like my X or Y variables. Because it's cover, you don't really want to change X, but if I want to make it more the guy's laptop here, I can do that. So the other thing you can do, so that's basically how you put in a background image there. Okay, yeah. So background overlay is here. If I wanted to do a border, I don't ever see websites with borders, but sometimes a border is there. So we'll do like a 5 pixel wide border with a color of red. Yeah, doesn't really look very appealing. This is more like 1960s, so taking the border off. Yeah, so section typography, don't typically do that in here. You typically are going to do that in your heading styling. So like, let's style this heading. So I want to go into this specific heading, and I want to go in here, I want to make it center. Let's take out, I'm going to take out this. So this BR in here, this is just a line break. So if I take that line break out, make a space, it doesn't do that. I guess I can do that line break, that looks fine. This is an H1, I'm going to make an H2, so it's going to be center, and then I'm going to change the text color, so I can change that, make that a little more just straight black. And then this is where remember that global color comes in place, so you can set colors, standard colors throughout your website to keep everything standard. And then same thing with typography, you can have standard text throughout the whole website. Text stroke, so this is like thickness of the text shadow. So if you wanted to add a shadow to it, you can change where it's going, vertical or horizontal. We could change the color, so you can set the color of the shadow to be like red or whatever. Yeah, so that's that. Advanced, so advanced is where we set the layout and other effects. So let's say we wanted it to be more to the left, so without left aligning it. So we can actually go into padding here and put more padding on the left. Well, sorry, more padding on the right. I wanted it to be on the left, so padding on the right, we'll put it on the left. And so this is the desktop version. I'll get into mobile responsiveness in another video, but yeah, so that's that. We'll do some neat styling things. One of the other things you could do, so if I wanted to do like a 2-section, let me throw an image in here. Let me throw a heading over here. Maybe some text over here. And so I want this image as I want to add a motion effect to this image. So when I'm scrolling down, I want, let's see, actually, is it that or is it transform? Yeah, it's motion effects. So when I scroll down, I want the vertical scroll to come up with me. So if I do that now, as I scroll down, it's going to come, the image is going to come with me, scroll with me. So I can do that, or I can have a slight rotate to it. So that one's a little weird. Again, a little 1960s effect there. Or I can have it scale just a little bit. So there's a scale effect. As I scroll, it grows. So just a few different things that you can do with scrolling and motion. You can also do mouse effects. So if you want to do like a mouse track thing, basically when you're hovering over it, it kind of moves away from the mouse a little bit, or kind of dances around. So we can do that. That's for desktop mainly. You can also do like entrance animations. So like if you want it to bounce in as you scroll down. So it's not going to do it now, but so that will kind of pop in, sliding up, rotate up, that kind of stuff. So kind of 1980s PowerPoint styling on your website, just to get a little bit of transform, a little bit of motion as people are going and browsing through your website. Yeah, so that is a little bit about a little bit of a deeper dive into styling, and background overlays and all that kind of stuff. And so if you liked this video, leave some feedback in the comments. If you're looking for some more information on how to do different things, feel free to add some comments and we'll get those videos recorded. So thank you for watching.